Hello everyone, welcome to StraightA. Dawson here, back with another video here today, and we are doing the Kansas City Chiefs, part of our 32 team stat prediction video series. It's been pretty cool, been pretty nice. This will be the last of the halfway point. Yeah, that works. It's a 16th team, so that means we have 16 more to go. So we're making good headway, I would say. But Kansas City Chiefs, of course, are the juggernauts of the NFL. Pretty much the last two Super Bowl winners. Pretty dang good. But before we get started in my predictions for them and my conversation about them, please leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and comment any suggestions for future videos below. Let's get it right into the video. Alright guys, let's be real for a second. This is going to be a very, very, very boring prediction video. I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to be very boring. You know why? Because the Kansas City Chiefs are boring because they win. We love winners, yes, but man, we hate the same winner, don't we? Either way, I'm going to go quickly through the depth chart, and we're just going to talk about the team that has won the Super Bowl twice in a row. Patrick Mahomes. It's Patrick Mahomes. All right, Carson Wentz behind him, but Carson Wentz will get like 2 throws if Patrick Mahomes stays healthy, so we're good. Isaiah Pacheco and Clyde Edwards-Helaire are now the dual committee here in the run game. Isaiah Pacheco has been really reliable, really good, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been just a good, fine secondary pick there. So there you go. In terms of the wide receiver core, it has not gotten much better, but hasn't gotten any worse. It's gotten a little bit better thanks to Marquise Brown and Xavier Worthy, but even then, Xavier Worthy is a question mark, and it could go either really, really well or really bad. High floor, high ceiling. Low floor, high ceiling. So it could go either way. So we really have 2 reliable wide receivers right now with Rashee Rice, who knows what's going to happen with his legal procedures, but he should be good for this season. Marquise Brown, he's really good, but hasn't seen the full potential of himself. And then you got everybody else. You got the committee of Justin Watson, Kadarius Toney, Mecole Hardman, Sky Moore, Justin Ross. All these guys have seen play a decent amount throughout the last couple seasons. So we'll see if that continues. I'm not too sure how well they're all going to do, but Rashee Rice and Marquise Brown do bring an interesting aspect to this whole team. Travis Kelce, of course, it's Travis Kelce. He's going to do well. He's going to be one of the greatest tight ends in the league next year. It's going to be pretty obvious. The O-line, the O-line is pretty good for the Chiefs. It's always been pretty decent. Wayne Morris, Joe Thuney, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, and Jawan Taylor. This committee is going to be very, very good, and honestly, has a very good run block committee here. Now, don't get me wrong, the pass block should be a little bit good too, but it does have a decrease on the tackle side of things. Then we got defense. Defense on the defensive line is going to be really, really good with Chris Jones still there, but Drew Tranquill is going to be good. Nick Bolton's always good coverage. George Karlaftis, or however you say his name, I can't remember. All going to be very good. This D-line is going to be very savage and going to be very good, especially stopping the run game of other teams, but could be very good as well as pressuring the quarterback. So they're going to have a very good overall team here. Now, with the secondary, you got Justin Reed and Jalen Watson and Trent McDuffie. Not Trent McDuffie, sorry. I saw Trent McDuffie and I was like, oh, what the fuck? But, okay. Let's talk about the secondary here. The secondary it has not been the best part of the team. Historically, looking back at other stats, and we'll kind of cover that real quick, they have not been the most productive secondary. They haven't been bad. They just haven't been very amazing. So, they've been able to stop a lot of the short gains, of course, like 20 yards down. But they haven't really been able to stop any big, long pass plays. So, they're very susceptible to that at times. So, I'll be very curious to see how the secondary does, but I actually imagine that despite this team being very good, it is one of the weaker aspects of the team. Especially with the O-line getting slightly worse and their weapons only getting slightly better. This team, is about the same, obviously, they did last year, and that means they're going to still be a Super Bowl contender. But it does add an interesting aspect to the whole team. Just looking at the stats, I'm just going to go ahead and spoil it. Patrick Mahomes is going to throw for at least 4,000 yards no matter what. It's going to be by default. Unless he doesn't play every single game, he's going to throw for 4,000 yards easy. And he's going to throw for almost 30 touchdowns at the very least. This last year, it was unfortunate. He got 27 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. He's easily thrown above that pretty easily before. But, also, he had a very bad committee this last season. I think they at least have gotten better, even if you haven't been able to rely on them a whole lot more. Patrick Mahomes is going to be able to throw 4,000 plus yards and at least 25 touchdowns as his floor. So he's going to be able to do better than that, though. I imagine at least in the 30s, he's going to be able to easily do this next season, especially with a better 2 receivers, Rashee Rice and Marquise Brown, and then Travis Kelce helping it out. It's going to be pretty good. Especially with Isaiah Pacheco being very reliable in the pass game, I think it'll be pretty easy for them to do. Isaiah Pacheco, though, is not actually the most productive running back in the world. He's very reliable. He's very good. I'm not going to say he's outstanding. I'm not going to say he's really bad. He's just a very reliable running back, and that's what you need on a team like this. Isaiah Pacheco fits that perfectly. Not going to talk too much more about that. The sacks allowed, they have not allowed many more than 30 sacks. I don't think they've had allowed more than 30 sacks in the last couple of years. They've been very, very good, despite all that. Now, talking about the rushing game, of course, like I said, there's nobody really behind Isaiah Pacheco this next year, and it's kind of been like that for the last couple of years. Usually it's been one guy that's kind of getting in the 800, 900 points, but they've never really had, the last couple of years, a really reliable running back. Receiving, though, Travis Kelce is going to be the leading receiver no matter what. He's going to have a lot of touchdowns. Rashee Rice, also very good last year in his rookie season. Pretty reliable. Then you got Justin Watson, MVS. You got a couple people kind of getting the 500 category. And so it'll be kind of curious to see how Marquise Brown actually fits in this team. Then moving on to a defense here, they got last year 57 sacks and 8 interceptions. 8 interceptions is not very high, let that be known, and they have not really seen that many. I think they got 12 a couple seasons ago, but this is a different defense now, and so I'm not too sure if I feel confident about them doing well, at least in interceptions, but they could do well in coverage. So we'll have to wait and see. I'll see what my predictions are for that. And 57 sacks for this defense, pretty damn good. Not gonna lie, this defense is damn good. The defensive line, linebackers, they are solid. They can pressure a lot, and while I think their strength is in the run game, run attacking game, whatever, you get it. They can stop the run. I do think they do have a really good speciality in getting to the quarterback too and pressuring him. So I'd be very curious to see how they do, but I imagine their sack level will actually stay around this region as well. So that was kind of quick and to the point. I'm not going to talk too much about it, except I'm going to talk about Marquise Brown. Marquise Brown, as we see, has one really solid season. Of course, he's had better touchdown seasons, but in the last couple seasons, he hasn't been really utilized all too much, which is unfortunate because Marquise Brown, I think, is very talented. I don't know if he's going to be the level of his 1,000-yard season, but he definitely has that potential to be that guy for this team. And while I think Rashee Rice is still going to be that guy, especially if he plays the full season, I'm very curious to see what Marquise Brown can add to this offense that the other weapons on the team really haven't been able to add. Travis Kelce's a reliable tight end, going to be very good. Rashee Rice has been an explosive rookie. Marquise Brown fits that middle ground. Will he be able to replace and make himself that relevant third person on this offense? I don't know. I'm curious, but we'll go into the predictions and show you what I think. Kansas City Chiefs. Let's go ahead and get out of the way. Patrick Mahomes. He's going to throw for 4,500 yards at least. He's going to throw for 38 passing touchdowns. I do think it's a little bit higher than I really should have put it on here in hindsight. Could be closer to 35, whatever. He's going to throw for one of the most in the league. I'm not going to question that. He's going to run for about 350 to 400 yards. That's what he's consistently done. He actually doesn't rush for many touchdowns, but he'll probably get a touchdown or two. And he'll throw 12 interceptions. I think he'll do better in the interceptions this year because his offense is going to be centered around more reliable pieces rather than just throwing to random coverages. And I think he'll just do very, very well. There you go. Boring, very base Patrick Mahomes stat line. Cool. No one can really get mad at that. Isaiah Pacheco, I'm going to keep him. Oh, wow, there's not space between R and a 9. That's going to bother me. 999 rushing yards, 6 rushing touchdowns. Again, I just think he's reliable. He's a reliable guy. He's predictable. I think he could be explosive, yes. But again, it's Patrick Mahomes' offense. It's his offense. Isaiah Pacheco is going to be much more utilized in the actual passing game than he is going to be the run game. Yes, he'll be involved. Yes, he's going to get a lot of those games that they're going to be leading, and he's going to have to run a lot. Sure, he's not going to get that many because Clyde will also come in. It's not just going to be relying on Isaiah Pacheco in this offense, so I don't think he breaks 1,000 yards. He very well could, though, so I'm not going to just count him out, but that's my prediction. Then we got the receiving team, and I've been really debating all this. I think Travis Kelce will get 1,000 yards again this season. I think him staying fully healthy, he will do very, very well. 10 receiving touchdowns. I think he'll still be Patrick Mahomes' main target. Rashee Rice, I still don't think will break 1,000 yards. I think that everything was gearing right for him. Then now he's down. His stock is going down because of Marquise Brown being added. Travis Kelce, assumably coming back and being healthy, and of course Rashee Rice's, not scandal, but his criminal charges or his charges, whatever it is, whatever. I didn't really research. I don't care. He lives his life. Do what he wants. Just don't kill other people, please. So I do think he got better, but I just think a lot of things are holding him back from being a 1,000-yard receiver this next year. So I'm going to put him in around the same bout. I'll give him 950 receiving yards. Marquise Brown, I think, will come in and make a really big impact for like half a season, and then we'll just not see him again. I don't know why. I think that's my opinion. I just feel like that's kind of gut feeling I have is he's going to come in, he's going to be really explosive, or he's going to get really explosive near the end. He's either going to be relevant for their first half or the second half. I don't know which will be, but I think Marquise Brown will be really, really good, and then all of a sudden everybody will be like, where'd he go? Why isn't he in this offense anymore? And that's just because I think he's going to be really exciting to see, and then he's going to get overshadowed as Rashee gets more involved, as well as the depth of the receivers also get more and more involved. So 6 receiving touchdowns, 782 yards, something like that for Marquise Brown, I feel pretty good about. So, I mean, this isn't really too much of a hot take. Again, pretty based because it keeps the yardage around what Patrick Mahomes needs for his, 4,500 yardage. I could see Marquise Brown maybe getting 800s, but that's about it. That's about as far as I go with the receiving yards portion of this. Then into O-lines, I think they'll allow less than 30 sacks, or at least the least amount in the whole league, or one of the least amount in the whole league. It's going to be pretty easy for them to do. I'm not going to really debate that one too much. Then their sacks, I do think they regress a little bit, but that's me saying I think I see them more likely going in the low 50s than I see them in the high 50s in sacks. Mostly because, again, I think their strength is going to be in stopping the run games of other teams. I do think they can get pressures. I just see them more likely going 54 than like 56 or 57. That makes sense. Because 56, 57 is really hard to do. That's like almost 4 game. Like that's pretty tough. So I'm going to go 53. We'll stick with that. Then interceptions. Again, I'm going to go less than 10 purely because I think it's one of the worst secondaries in the league. But I have to put like 12 teams in this category. So I'm going to go less than 10 interceptions and roll with it, to be honest with you. It's not really too much of a hot take for me. It's like, again, pretty based on the previous year stats. Then we're looking at their schedules. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. You can't really ever say the Kansas City Chiefs are going to go less than 11 wins confidently. So they're going to get only 6 losses throughout the whole season. So where's our 6 or less losses going to go? In division, they'll probably lose one game. They'll lose one random game to the Chargers, Broncos, or Raiders. Probably the Raiders this year. I don't know. They seem to have a better team and better momentum against the Chiefs this year. So divisionally, they'll go 5-1. Bengals, Texans, Ravens, they'll go 2-1 against them, 7-2. Then against the other 2 teams, I'm going to say they drop another random loss. They usually throw another random loss in the middle of the season, so 8-3. Then on their away games, on this category right here, they'll probably lose to the 49ers, but if they don't, they'll lose to another team. So I'll give them 3-1 there, so they're 11-4 now. Then you got the Falcons and the Buffalo Bills. They probably lose to the Bills, but they could easily win that game too. So 11-6 is kind of where I have them going, but being realistic, they can win a lot of these games. I gave them a random loss to the Bucks and Saints there. I gave them, 2-1 against the Bengals, Texans, and Ravens, which are tough games, granted, so they could easily go 1-2 there. But I also gave them 1-3 here. I gave them a loss to the Buffalo Bills, which could not happen, especially in the regular season. There's too many things that swing right, and I'm like, well, I've already have a lot of teams in the 10-11 category. I can't put the Chiefs there. And while I don't think they'll be the 14-plus team that I have on my list, because I do have one allotted 14-plus team who will do the best in the whole league, I will put them in the 12-13 category because, again, more than likely not, they're going to win 12 games rather than just 11. That's just kind of where my mindset goes. Sure, I did, going a quick glance, I went 11-6 there, but there's easily a world where they beat the 49ers, beat the Bills, even beat the Bengals, Texans, and Ravens. I mean, it's just going to be tough, especially in division. I gave them a loss in their division. They could beat all their teams in division easily. The only reason I gave them a loss there is because they're divisional opponents, and it's really hard to win all 6 games against people that know you. So 12-5 is probably my realistic prediction. 11-6 is very possible, but 12-5 is very likely for this team. Hope you guys enjoyed this video for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'll see you guys in the next one. StraightA Dawson, out of here.